Hi, my name is Leah Day, and welcome to this video for the Dancing Butterfly Quilt. Today we're learning spiral matrix. It's basically a combination of a wiggly grid design, and then every other kind of check in the checkerboard is filled with spiral matrix. It's a lot of fun, but I want to give you some tips on practicing and playing with this design before we start stitching it. So let's get started. So here is the worksheet for this design, and if you're looking for this guide, you can find it in the Dancing Butterfly Quilt pattern. You can actually click right here to go to leahday.com and pick up the pattern and download all these awesome worksheets for you to trace and draw over, and then of course mark your quilts and stitch on the line. You can do so much with these worksheets, playing and practicing to learn free motion quilting. Okay. So the name of this design is Spiral Matrix, but where are the spirals? This design here is actually matrix. It's a wiggly grid, and you form this first over your entire quilting space by stitching those lines of echo quilting, first in one direction, then travel stitch to the opposite direction and start flowing those lines going the other way. So that's how you form the wiggly grid first, and that's its own design. Now to add the spirals. What you do is basically kind of pick which boxes you want to go in, and I'm going to pick every other one, and you're going to stitch inside with a spiral, and it's going to kind of echo that wiggly grid, something like that. I'm going to end up right here, and I'll go into the next one. Spiral in, and spiral back out. And in this way, you can work kind of in a chain down your quilting space, spiraling into that space, and back out. And then as you come down, let's say I'm just going to kind of stitch a little wiggly line. I'm going to draw a wiggly line just so you have an idea of what I'm filling here. It's going to kind of stretch out like this across. You're going to fill in each of these spaces. When you get down here, travel stitch and begin filling these spaces. When you have like a weird shape like this, you're just going to fill a corner of it, then get to the next space and return to that spirally shape. Something like that. You want to leave yourself enough space to get back out and move to the next one. So now with this idea, and of course with the spiraling design in mind, let's get on the machine and see how all of these steps come together in free motion. So here's the start of this design, and I'm stitching matrix into my block. Basically, you just want to run your lines of quilting in one direction, just wiggly lines. It's basically the same as the design we just learned, echo edge stitching, only working kind of horizontally or vertically through the space. Then I travel stitched and worked my way up to the opposite edge and stitched another wiggly line across. Now all I'm going to do, travel stitch over, and stitch down, echo quilting that line, and I'm trying to keep this grid about an inch wide. I want those boxes, all those spaces, to be about the size of an inch. It doesn't have to be perfect, and of course if you wanted this to be smaller, you can make it smaller, but because of those spirals, that is going to kind of shrink things down and make them smaller, so it's good to be mindful of that and how this is going to change as you go back in and fill it with spirals. So I'm going to finish filling in these wiggly lines into the square, and then I'll meet you back here whenever we're ready to fill this space with spirals. Okay, so we're ready to go with our spirals. I'm going to start in this upper corner, stitch in, and I'm kind of echo quilting the space. But whenever you kind of have to shrink it down so that way you can go in and back out. It's an open spiral. So let me talk you through it. I'm echo quilting the left side and the bottom edge, but right here, I don't keep quilting all the way over. I go on ahead and start making my move upwards, and then inside to the spiral, and then back out. This is definitely one of those things that you're going to want to draw. You're going to want to draw the shape and fill in all of those squares of your worksheet so that way you can get the hang of that how that spaces out. Spirals are one of those tricky things that just requires practice. I know when I first started stitching them, I kept getting stuck in the middle because I wouldn't give myself enough space to get out. You kind of need to leave yourself double the amount of space as you're stitching in, and that will allow you to have plenty of space to get back out again. So that's it for Spiral Matrix. I really hope that you enjoyed learning this fun, wiggly design with all those spirals mixed in between. If you'd like to learn more about designs like this and see them stitched out on a bigger bed quilting style scale, definitely click here to pick up your copy of the Dancing Butterfly quilt pattern. This pattern comes with everything you need to know to piece, applique, and free motion quilt this beautiful quilt. So I really hope that you'll join me for this. My name is Leah Day, and until next time, let's go quilt.